Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. And today it is time for Let's Talk About Scream 6. That's right, the latest installment in the Scream series is now here, and I've already been to seen it. Along with Dean, as he's watched all the Scream movies multiple times. I've only now watched all of them once. And before we get into it, I want to quickly mention that this will be the last video on this channel like this. I'm going to be bringing something back starting next week. And I don't want videos like this and anime videos to be overshadowed by it, and they absolutely would be if I still made them on here. So movies, anime, cartoons, stuff like that, those videos, all future videos I post about like those will be going onto the second channel. So all of that will be joining the Real Talk videos I do on my second channel. Now that I've explained that, let's get straight into it. So Scream 6 was labelled by reviewers in the trailer as the scariest Scream ever. And is it? I'm not sure, because none of the Scream movies are actually scary. But was it the goriest Scream movie ever? Yes, and that's a good thing. It was a very brutal movie. Like, it gives Halloween Ends a run for its money with how brutal it is. So what's the theme of Scream 6? Because every Scream movie has a theme. Scream 1 was how to do a horror movie and the rules of one. Scream 2 was how to do a sequel. Scream 3 was how to close out a trilogy. Scream 4 was how to do a remake. Scream 5 was how to do a requel. And Scream 6 is how to continue a franchise. I mean, Scream was a franchise by Scream 2. Like, I don't know why it took us till Scream 6 for the characters to figure that one out. But Scream 6 is unique because it's the first Scream ever without Sidney Prescott. She has nothing to do with this movie. The real reason why is Neve Campbell, who plays Sidney, had a pay dispute with the creators of Scream 6, and she decided not to, and she didn't want to take the role because she felt like she wasn't being paid enough for the role, which, don't know what it is, but she is the Scream franchise if you think about it. She is Scream. So you can understand why she'd probably want to be paid the most out of all the actors when she's the main character of the franchise. But the reason given in the movie, because as soon as I found out Neve Campbell wasn't going to be here, I was thinking, how are they going to explain Sidney's absence in the movie? And the reason it's explained that the reason she's not there is she took her family far away from where GhostFace is. And Scream 6 actually subverts expectations more than any Scream before it. Which is a good thing. Because that's a good thing because it's working. I mean, the movie starts with what's her name? Sarah Weaving, is that her name? The Australian actress? The movie opens with her getting a phone call, and well, we all know what happens at the start of a Scream movie when somebody gets a phone call. That person, apart from Tara in Scream 5, dies at the start, and this one is no different. But after getting killed by Ghostface, the Ghostface just takes his mask off straight away. And me and Dean saw this, we were like, wait, what? Why has the killer revealed himself already? It's the start of the movie. And the woman that dies at the very beginning is a film studies teacher doing research on slashers. How convenient. That's what Scream is, a slasher. And a great line in the opening of the movie is she goes down a dark alley, and Ghostface says to her, you know all the rules of a horror movie, and you still went down a dark alley." Yeah. She knows all the rules of what you're not supposed to do, and she still did one of those things anyway. But after the Ghostface happened to be one of her students. He goes back to his home and gets a call from his roommate Greg. But it's Ghostface again. Not only that, but he tells this guy Jason, who was the first Ghostface of the movie, to have a look around the apartment, and you'll find Greg, where Ghostface has already stuffed Greg in the fridge. Then we finally get to meet up with characters we're familiar with. So Tara, Samantha, Chad, Mindy, who I'm convinced was called Cindy in Scream 5. And she's got a pretty cringe pride flag on her jacket. It's not that it's a pride flag, it's the one with the black and brown and then the arrow. Like, why couldn't it have just been the original rainbow one? You know, the one that already includes everyone? That one would have made more sense, but that's what she chose to wear. And we're introduced into a couple of more characters. Annika and Quinn. Of course, with them now being friends with the group from Scream 5, they of course become targets of Ghostface as well. So the reason they even find out about Ghostface is back is because the murders that I've just talked about end up on the news. Ghostface even attacks Samantha and Tara later that night. And for the first time ever, Ghostface uses a gun. Normally he only uses his knife, but this time he uses a shotgun to kill someone. And then Tara and Samantha escape, and then when they leave the hospital, a bunch of people, bunch of paparazzi, bunch of news reporters and camera crews are all around them trying to get an interview. Who do you think ends up there too? What was that, Gale Weathers? Yes, Gale Weathers is back. Of course she is. She's kind of the main character now because Dewey dies in Scream 5. Sydney's not in Scream 6, so Gale is the only legacy character left at the moment. And Samantha tries to punch Gale the way Sydney did in the first two Screams, but this ain't Gale's first rodeo. She's wise to it, so she dodges out of the way, only for Tara to punch her in the face instead. And the subverting of expectations in Scream 6 continues when Ghostface is about to kill our character's friend Quinn, but then he doesn't and just leaves. And Samantha happens to be also sleeping with one of the guys that lives in the apartment across from her. Only for Ghostface to sneak in to then get back into his killing mood, sneak into the apartment, and we have Chad, Mindy, Tara, and Samantha all in the same room together, and Ghostface is in that very same apartment in a different room. And they only figure out Ghostface is there when they all get the exact same text at the exact same time. Ghostface does a bit more killing. And oh my god, the stabs in this movie are so brutal. And a great part of it is there's this guy Ethan who's part of the friend group now who he interacts with them like the least. Like he doesn't want to be involved in any of this the most out of them all. He wants to be involved less than anyone else. And that makes Mindy think of him as a prime suspect. And he's asking, well, why am I a suspect? Have you learned nothing from this franchise over the past nearly 30 years? Randy Meeks said it in Scream 1. Everybody's a suspect. That's how Scream works. So this leads to Annika and Quinn being killed by Ghostface, while Samantha, Tara, and Cindy are all managed to get away. Oh, and Chad. They managed to get away. Those four managed to just get away. But the others die. Also, you think, because we have this police officer who basically plays the role of the Scream police officer for this movie, saying that that Quinn was his daughter. And at different points throughout the movie, Samantha gets calls on her phone from Richie, her boyfriend from Scream 5. But he dies at the end of Scream 5. Samantha kills him in Scream 5. So how the hell is he able to call her when he's dead? Well, it's Ghostface, of course. And then we even then get to reunite with an old friend from Scream 4. Kirby, she makes a return. And she joins in because she's been a victim of a Ghostface attack as well. She understands how all this works. And when we have all of our characters together, the main friend group, Kirby and Gale takes them all to this secret place, which is like a shrine, a Ghostface shrine. When I saw this in the trailer, I was like, oh, this scene is going to be so good in the actual movie. And it did not disappoint. So many different references and Easter eggs to the other Scream movies. Like, anyone who's probably done a Easter eggs in Scream 6 video will have spent more time talking about the shrine than any other part of the movie for the Easter eggs. Just to list off a few that I can remember, there was Billy's shirt covered in cranberry juice from the original. There was a drawing of Casey Becker from the opening of the first movie. There was Nancy Loomis's dress from Scream 2. There was Billy's knife and Ghostface outfit from the original. There was many different things that I could see. And another theme for this movie is that they're going backwards from Scream 5 to Scream 1. Basically, they're going back to Billy. And who's connected to Billy that's still alive? Samantha, because she's his daughter. And in the shrine, we actually get another cameo appearance from Skeet Ulrich, just like in Scream 5, who played Billy all the way back in Scream 1. He basically tries to encourage Samantha a couple of times to do what he did in the original. When the shrine scene first started, the initial thought was, wait, how does Gale have a passcode, have a key card to get into this place? Is Gale the killer? No, she isn't. But there was always that theory that maybe Gale's the killer, because how does she know how to get into this place? Kirby would probably know, because she now works for the FBI. But later on towards the end of the movie, we find out that just like most Scream movies, there's two ghost faces, not just one. And it looks like the two ghost faces together killed Chad, but at the end of the movie we find out they don't. Somehow he survives. He should have probably died in Scream 5, doesn't, and he should have died in Scream 6, doesn't. And the big reveal is probably one of the best reveals we've ever had in a Scream movie, simply because you genuinely don't know who the killer is. I mean, for me, I never knew who the killer was in any movie apart from the original, because everybody knows the killer's from the original. Even before I'd watched it. But I was always guessing from Screams 2 all the way through to this one, 6, not knowing who could the killer be. And that's the same, and it didn't change here. So the police officer that had been helping our characters on this case and to find out who Ghostface is, because Ghostface kept leaving masks. Every mask he left was from a previous attack in a previous movie. The first mask was from Scream 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, and then of course the final mask is the mask that's already in the shrine, Billy's mask from the original. And they even try to convince us that Kirby is the killer, because the police officer who tells our characters that Kirby was fired from the FBI 2 months prior to what's happening right now. And that makes them think it's actually Kirby. And then she even gets shot by the police officer. And then the big reveal happens. The killers for Scream 6 were Ethan, the guy who was very adamant why should he be seen as a suspect, now we know why, and Quinn, who supposedly died trying to crawl across a ladder from one apartment building to another earlier in the movie. And it was mentioned earlier in the movie by Mindy that the fact that Quinn's father is a cop makes her more of a suspect than the rest of them. That was basically the hint that Quinn is one of the killers. That was the hint. And the police officer was the mastermind behind all of this. For the first time ever, we have 3 people all working together, not just 2. 2 ghost faces and a mastermind. Because normally, Ghostface, one of the ghost faces, is the mastermind. But this time, no. The mastermind and the ghost faces. As they all reveal themselves to be Richie's family. And the shrine was made by Richie. It was his Ghostface shrine. He created it. And before we talk about the final confrontation, one more thing. There is a scene on a train earlier on Halloween, because the movie happens to take place at the ending part of the movie happens to take place on Halloween. What are the odds of that? And there were a bunch of people dressed as different horror movie characters. There were some people dressed as Michael. There was no one was dressed as Jason, but there was a Friday the 13th movie playing at the very beginning of the movie, in Jason's apartment just before he gets killed by Ghostface. There was Pinhead from Hellraiser, Freddy Krueger from the Elm Street movies. Of course, Wes Craven directed all the Elm Street movies and every Scream movie, apart from 5 and 6. And one that a lot of people probably won't have realised who it is, because they may not know who it is Belial from Basket Case. He made a sneaky appearance. I wonder how many people noticed that. But the final confrontation takes place in the shrine, which makes perfect sense. Like, you can't really get a better location for a Scream ending than that, surely. So Samantha takes out Quinn, and Tara takes down Ethan by shoving a knife through his mouth. Very brutal. And you'd think that Kirby and even Gail, because Gail gets attacked in her apartment by Ghostface, and the way the scene it plays out, you think Ghostface has killed her. But we find out right at the end of the movie that Gail will pull through, so she's not dead, she will survive. As will Kirby, she will survive as well. So Samantha shoots Quinn in the head, so she's dead now. And Tara, as I said, shoves the knife through Ethan's mouth, supposedly killing him, but it's a Scream movie. They always come back for one last scare. And the one last scare is Ethan coming back. And the way he dies properly, he actually has the TV that killed Stu Mocker in the original fall on him. They actually recreate one of the kills from the original. Then Samantha takes on the police officer, the mastermind behind all of this, in the GhostFace outfit with her father's mask. Everything has come full circle. And Samantha just wails on the police officer, stabbing him over and over and over. And the movie ends potentially as in a way that you think maybe this is the final Scream, maybe it's not. Because the way it ends is Samantha drops her father's mask onto the ground, walks away, and the movie's final shot is of Billy's mask just lying in the road. And that is Scream 6. What did I think of it? Quite enjoyed it. I'd say it's better than Screams 3 and 4. I'm not too sure whether it's where I would put it. I'd put it below the first two and above 3 and 4, but I don't know if I'll put it above or below number 5. I'm not quite sure. At the moment, I'd put it just below number 5. But I mean, any Scream movie with Jenna Ortega in, you know you're in for a good ride, if you know what I mean. I would give Scream 6 an 8 out of 10. Really damn good. And if there's a Scream 7, I'll be there for it. So, thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. Remember, all videos like this, the videos like this will be heading onto the second channel after this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Catch you later.